All right, now let's go and get some reaction from our guests. Joining us is Scott Rothbort. He's president of Lakeview Asset Management, and Kevin Kerr from Kerr International Trading. Welcome to our guests. Kevin, I'm going to start with you. Stocks were making big swings the last couple of weeks during the fiscal crisis. Do you expect these swings to kind of keep on going? Kevin, are you there? All right, well, let's see if we can't go to Scott and see if Scott, basically we've been talking about the fiscal crisis and the financial problems that we've been having with the government shutdown over the last couple of years. Markets, of course, seem to be doing a lot better now, but there have been some swings. Is that potentially going to continue, Scott, or no?
Well, I think that investors and traders are beginning to adjust to some of the shenanigans that take place in Washington, D.C. And they realize that at the end of the day, there always tends to be an 11th hour agreement that takes place. And I think it's naive to believe that Washington, D.C., despite the rancor that goes on in terms of the politics, that anybody is going to allow us to default on our debt. And so as long as we understand that while we may be dealing with a whole bunch of adults, they act like children, you really need to be a little bit more rational in your thinking and understand that at the end of the day, this is still the United States. It's the U.S. dollar. We're the best economy in the world. We have the strongest currency, and we will continue to forge ahead.
All right, thanks for that, Scott. We're going to skip over to Kevin now and ask a question here. What do you expect from the rest of earnings? Some big companies have really announced some good results so far. Is that going to keep on coming? All right, well, I guess we don't have Kevin on the line, so we're going to have to ask Scott the same question. What do you think about that, Scott? Do you think that we're going to continue to see positive earnings reported?
Well, I think more and more what we're seeing is this is a bit of a stock picker's market in terms of sector and in stocks within sectors. It looks like technology is doing pretty well, but again, you've got Google, who really did quite well, but IBM seems to be a little bit problematic. I think when it comes to consumers, the consumers have been putting their money into durable goods, big ticket items, but they've been shying away to some extent from the apparel manufacturers. Now, I think we're going to see as we get into the holiday season that they're going to start going back to the malls and buying some of that apparel that they may not have bought over the course of the last year or so. We've had some very strange weather patterns, especially in the larger metropolitan areas. So I'm expecting that earnings on average are going to increase. I think that last quarter the U.S. dollar was weak, which is going to help top line, especially for multinationals. I'm also expecting that GDP is going to continue to increase. So I think we're going to see some positive earnings for the last quarter and for the fourth quarter.
And what specifically do you think is going to, do better and fare better, and which other sectors do you think are going to lag?
Well, I think we're gonna continue to see that the sectors that are more cyclical in nature are gonna continue to do well. So that'll be the automotive industries and all the industries that feed into the automotive industry. I think that certainly consumer discretionary continue to do well. Need to do well, although for financial companies such as Apollo, Blackstone, and issues over the money center bank broker, and we've actually taken our portfolios and we built them to restructure them in favor of like a more cyclical place.
All right, thanks so much, Scott Rothbort and Kevin Kerr. We appreciate your time on Arise XChange. Up next, President Obama's to-do list for Congress. Capitol Hill gearing up for the next economic battlefront. If you thought the debt ceiling was bad, you ain't seen nothing yet. We'll go live to Washington when Arise XChange returns.